Let's move to the running backs, headline naturally by Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State. Connor, we'll talk about in our final segment where we think he's going to go, but where would you kind of set the over-under on what point is like the range that he's going to go at the moment?
Oh, man, 11.5,
okay.
Right? I mean, you're looking at the Cowboys, everybody loves that one. I think he's going earlier. I laugh at this mock draft because this is how dated things can become in a month. I had Jeanty at 28 to the Vikings, so I didn't think the league would value the running back that much. And no, it's wrong. Jeanty is one of the best players in this draft. He's my third overall player. And we'll get to Omarion Hampton in a second. Jeanty, I mean, what else do you want? He checks every box. 10 out of 10 person, elite work ethic. The balance is the best I've seen for a prospect at running back. Like the best balance I have seen.
And we interviewed him, and by we, I mean you and Lawrence at the Super Bowl on Radio Row, and we made news that he said he wanted to be drafted by Chicago.
Right,
and of course,
here on Fantasy Football Happy Hour.
Right here on Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Not that we ever got credit for it. We got aggregated to death.
Hell.
We got aggregated to death, and no one gave my guy Lawrence any credit at all for getting that out of Jeanty. But, yeah, so
so if he does end up on the Bears, which is we just heard the Bears, some coach on the Bears said they're looking for a back. Like if he ends up on the Bears, then you come right back here because this is where you heard it first.
We'll have the clip ready this time. Or Emmitt Smith hugging him and saying, "You're next."
Yes.
Show. That's a nice moment. Yeah,
that is true.
Do you think, Connor, he
did that to me too, Emmitt Smith?
What was he implying, though?
Well, we were in line for French fries.
I was going to say, you're next.
It was just like,
You're
next,
next.
you fat F. Yeah, and I'm like, all right, thanks, Emmitt.
Connor, moving, now that we're feeling like Jeanty go higher now, you talk about a guy like Omarion Hampton. Could he mess around and sneak into the first round? Because
I say yes.
It's a lot of teams that need running back help. Whether it be a guy or a guy to take some touches.
I would put him at minus 130 to go in the first round right now.
Wow.
I would. I mean, just not a lot of guys built like this that can run that fast in a straight line, take on the contact. He's really, really tough, but he's physically very gifted. Pass catcher, pass protector, runner inside and outside. I think he's going in the first round.
And if he run a 4.4 today, then good night.
I think he will
go in the first
round.
round.
Yeah, I think he will.
Well, but it's such a deep running back class. It strikes me, Connor, that this year's running back class is similar to last year's wide receiver class.
Yes.
That it's like that we're going to be
stars and depth.
Yes, stars and depth.
That's if you're a draft person or a team, that's your dream. Where it's like, I get blue chip talent at the top. If I don't get that guy, cool. I get a starter rounds 2 through 4.
Right.
That's exactly right, Matthew. That's how I would compare it. While wide receiver this year is obviously a little different, but running back is special this year.
Yep. I think Jeanty's ability to be a workhorse back and have a significant amount of carries seems pretty obvious, given that the workload that he had at Boise State. Is Omarion Hampton the same deal?
Yes, and I'll say this before we even get into it with their landing spots ultimately in fantasy when we're talking about them all summer.
Yeah.
When these two get drafted and they go to a backfield where there's a guy in that backfield that we know, and everybody's like, don't even think about it for a second. These are the dudes from day one.
Well, let's name a guy. Let's say I mentioned the Patriots earlier. You got Ramondre Stevenson there. I don't know if he's a free
think of the
agent.
Bears with DeAndre Swift, right? Like,
no.
If Jeanty went to
okay, that's a great example.
I'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm
DeAndre Swift might be on the move.
You're not going to use a first-round pick and not, especially at the running back position, and not play him
Fire it up.
ton.
Unless you're off with Smith.
But so you have clearly Hampton at 2 among running backs and Caleb Johnson at 3. So Travion Henderson for you 4.
He was 4, and I believe Judkins might have been right behind him at 5, which is insane.
Yeah, that Ohio State had 2 guys in the top 5.
Yeah, and just that those guys aren't all number 2s or number 3s in a running back class.
Okay. Before we hit our last break, Connor, just quickly, a couple sleepers to watch for running back, quarterback.
Yeah, running back 2 more. These are way down the line. LaQuint Allen from Syracuse, over 500 receiving yards, 20 years old right now. Won
us
him a
the
lot.
game against Miami. Thank you very much.
DJ Giddens, a Kansas State running back, very silky smooth. Yeah, he makes people look silly in the open field. The sleeper at quarterback, Tyler Shuck. Huge arm, played a ton of college football, had some injuries early on, so it took him a while to develop. But, man, he could really throw it down the field.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.